Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I have never posted a video before, so this is my very first video, and I just wanted to talk about what I was diagnosed with on December 26th of 2018, almost about 6 months ago. I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer, and it was really an eye-opener and kind of a wake-up call in a way, I guess. It was horrible having to find that out. I had been having trouble breathing. I recently got my dive master this summer, so I noticed that I was having a really difficult time breathe. I couldn't catch my breath ever. I was always struggling, and I've been diving since 2011, so it didn't really make sense why I was almost having an asthma attack every time I went diving. I couldn't breathe, and I kept it to myself because I was really embarrassed and I didn't want to share it with anyone, thinking maybe I was just out of shape, had my asthma coming back from my childhood. I wasn't really sure. So I went in on December 26th because on Christmas I obviously didn't want to ruin the time that I had with my family. My family was begging me to go in for probably 2 or 3 months before I actually went in. And it was just so crazy. So I went in with my dad, and we went originally to urgent care, and they did an x-ray, and the doctor right away looked at the x-ray, and he was kind of not freaking out because doctors are obviously calm, cool, and collected, but he was definitely looking like, this is not normal. I don't know what it is. It looks maybe like pneumonia or bronchitis, because that's what I thought it was. And he immediately rushed me to the emergency room. So my dad and I went over to the emergency room, and after a while they did, these breathing tests, and obviously got the awesome IV in my arm. And they did so many other tests, and then they came to the conclusion that I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer. That was probably the worst thing that I'd ever heard in my entire life. My dad immediately broke down in tears. I had to call my mom and all of my family, my friends, and it was a really hard time for me. I never thought that me, being a normal 26-year-old who's active, I go scuba diving, I run, I take my 2 little pugs out for walks, I never thought that I would have that. And the doctor was surprised that I hadn't collapsed. He said that it was a whole lung and then almost a half of my other lung. So I had pretty much been breathing on just one, maybe a half of one of my 2 lungs. And it all just kind of came to fruition and made sense of why I couldn't breathe. I was having difficulty taking my dogs out to go to the bathroom without panting, and mind you, I go down 3 flights of stairs, and I've lived here for 3 plus years, and I've never had a problem going up or downstairs, especially if it's only 3 flights. So that was really hard for me as well. And they did my first chemo treatment at Tacoma General Hospital. I had to stay there for 8 days. It was probably the worst experience of my life. They have, if you've ever stayed in a hospital, you know that they're coming to your room round the clock, even in the middle of the night. So they'll come at 1 a.m., they'll come at 4 a.m., they'll come at 6 a.m., every few hours, so you never truly get to fall asleep. I was always so tired. I was pretty much bedridden to the bed that I was staying in. The people were really nice and helpful there. And I ended up having my first chemo treatment there, like I said. And I was so sick. I can't even describe to you how sick I was. I was obviously throwing up. I had constant nausea, awkwardly enough, TMI, I know, constipation, no one wants to talk about that. And I lost about 20 pounds in the 8 days that I stayed there. So nothing fit, it was awful. And I knew that I was gonna lose my hair because, obviously chemo does that. So, oh my gosh. I met with the doctor over at Issaquah, where I actually live, and they told me, you know, you need to either shave your head or you're gonna start having your hair falling out, and you're gonna notice it, and it's gonna come out in clumps, and it's gonna be basically a shit show. So I didn't really know how to process that. I had already processed that I have Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer, and I guess I didn't really put two and two together that you obviously in cancer lose all your hair from chemo. I should have thought of that because my stepdad passed away a few years ago from a brain tumor, and I remember when he went through chemo, he lost all his hair. So I looked around and I found this place in Kirkland, and they do basically wigs for cancer, specifically cancer patients. It was a hefty $2,000 for the wig. However, they didn't shave my head, they cut it piece by piece, and out of my hair, they made the wig out of my hair. And they had it done in 24 hours. It was the best $2,000 I'd ever spent because it made me feel a little more like myself again rather than literally being bald. I know my dad's bald by choice, well, kind of by choice. He shaves what's left of it, but I never thought that me, out of everyone, would have to lose their hair. And it was, besides obviously getting diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, it was the worst thing that I had to do was lose my hair. Getting my hair cut off, I couldn't look at myself probably for about the first week. And when I did, I broke down in the mirror, obviously, not looking the best. But it's life. And I had to do 12 treatments was my treatment plan for chemo, and I did that every other week. And I have my last chemo this Tuesday, number 12. So I am so excited to be able to start growing my hair back and not feeling like crap all the time and everything like that. I would definitely say out of everything, nausea was the worst. I didn't have the tinglies that everyone kept talking about that they have in their hand for nerve damage. I guess the chemo that I took, the specific chemo, gives you lung damage, so they were worried I wasn't going to be able to scuba dive again. So I actually am going to see a lung specialist next month after my last chemo treatment on Tuesday to make sure that I am able to dive again. Because if I can't, I would probably honestly die of sadness because I'm literally obsessed with diving. So anyways, a couple other side effects that were really weird. I don't know if you, for people who are going through chemo as well, what kind of weird symptoms you had. I would say the worst out of everything was bloating. Like I constantly, even if I ate like carrots or an apple, it didn't matter what I ate. I literally felt so bloated, like I had eaten 20 cheeseburgers, and it was horrible. And it still is, like I'm still battling that. And I wouldn't wish that upon anyone. Having cancer, it's really horrible. I lost all my eyelashes, I lost all my eyebrows. Like obviously you lose hair on your whole body, and before I had cancer, I obviously knew of people who went through chemo, you lose your hair, but when you have it happen to yourself, it's really eye-opening, not in a good way or a bad way, it's just really eye-opening. I can relate more to other people who are going through cancer, and I feel for them more, like losing my eyebrows, like this, obviously I have no eyebrows, this is all makeup, but thank God for makeup because I look like an alien without any eyebrows. And thank goodness for eyelash extensions and all of the beauty things in the industry that we can have for people who are going through cancer and you don't have hair, and you really take for granted hair, at least for girls. I don't know for guys as much, but for girls, I feel like we really do. I remember even in high school always being like, oh, I hate my hair, it looks so bad today. Well, you know what, I had hair at that time, so I should have been more appreciative that I had hair, because so many people who are going through cancer don't have that luxury of having to wake up with hair. So obviously this is a wig. I did lose all my hair, so this definitely is a wig. It's from Say Styles. Thank you again. But they really made me feel a lot better about myself, and just be able to be confident and be able to go out and do normal things and not be bald and have people look at you differently. So that's just a little bit about my story. I just kind of I've never made a video before describing, you know, what I was going through and everything, so I kind of just wanted to put that out there and see if maybe any of you guys have gone through any form of cancer. I'd love to connect. I met a few people who are actually going through Hodgkin's lymphoma as well, like me, currently, and it's awesome knowing that they're not awesome, but it's relieving to know that other people are going through the same thing as I am, and I can relate to them and connect to them, because none of my family is obviously going through, you know, cancer, so I couldn't really relate to anyone my age. So if anyone of you guys are, I would love to meet and or talk and learn kind of more about what's going on with your condition in your life. All right, well, I will see you guys later.